Hi
If
guys,
you do,
welcome to my channel.
I'll probably do that separately because you guys look at this one's face. Look at her. Please tell me you're recording this shit.
I am.
You are? I'm definitely putting that in.
Hi,
Okay.
my name is Wafa.
I'm in Saudi.
Okay. When did you first realize you started having postpartum?
When did I realize I found postpartum? I guess when I came home, like the week after, because I would like randomly start crying. Like I'm not a crier, and then it's like I would wake up crying. I'll go to sleep crying. I go shower crying. Like every little thing, like it would just like bother me and hurt and make me cry. And I didn't even know why I was crying. So I guess yeah, like the week after, a week or two.
Can you explain the feelings of postpartum?
Um, I can explain my feeling of postpartum. It's like it's kind of not explainable because it's like you actually don't know what you're feeling. It's like you feel overwhelmed, tired, you feel confused. Um, it's like you, you actually can't explain it. It's like it's like mood swings, like but without actually feeling something. If that even makes sense. It's like it's just as confusing as it sounds actually. Like there's like no explaining it. It's like happy and sad and mad and confused and stressed all in one, basically.
Hmm. How is it dealing with postpartum and the baby?
Dealing with postpartum and the baby. Um, like I said, everyone is different. Um, Me personally, I had nothing against the baby. Um, I mean, I know there's cases that females decide to hurt the baby. I have nothing against the baby. My anger was more towards the people around me. Um, Sometimes it's like you feel like you're drowning, kind of. It's like a suffocating feeling where it's like the thing is people forget that a few months ago it was just you. And they try to like all of a sudden like in a blink of an eye it's like it's no longer you. It's you and the child. And it's like people actually need to remember like ask how mom's doing. Like talk to mom first and then slowly bring in the baby. Like but people tend to just be like, "Oh yeah, how's the baby?" Like, "Hi, how you doing? Nice to hear from you." Like, it's not just the baby. People have to remember like mom is going through emotional changes. Like she's trying to adjust and like especially like right now, with this whole quarantine thing, it's like people are very needy and they like want to see the baby and it's understandable like everybody family and friends and everybody wants to see the baby and it's like okay, I understand that, but you like I said, remember mom needs a break. Mom probably didn't sleep all night and it's not even like maybe the baby slept all night. But it's like as a new mom, like you're constantly waking up and checking, like, okay, is the baby breathing? Is the baby still there? Like it's like you're adjusting little by little, and like you're trying to figure out first of all how to deal with the baby. Like it's something new, and then you're also trying to figure out, okay, why am I feeling this way? What can I do to help myself not feel this way? Because it's like I said, it's something where you feel like you're not doing enough, even though you're doing the most you can. If I made sense,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So yeah, it's everyone is different. Like I said, I had nothing against the baby. My thing is like I just feel like I said, I feel like people forget that mom was not mom a few months back. Mom was herself. So yeah.
Yeah. How is it dealing postpartum during the coronavirus and being quarantined?
That's hard. Um like you guys know, my mom was able to be here and help for a few. Um Mario was also here and helped um for a few weeks. But it's hard because like I said, it's like everybody wants to see the baby. There's some people that still haven't met the baby, and the baby's 2 months today. Um, it's hard because people want to meet her and people want to see her and spend time with her, but it's like we can't. Like on top of the fact that everybody's locked up, it's like you're scared because it's like um you want people to meet her, of course, but you don't want people to be sick or something. I don't know what the hell. You want to take her? She's sleeping.
All I see is a dark shadow. Like, shoo.
Uh-huh. Oh no, she's good. I forgot what I was saying. Um, yeah.
You
People
want
want
people.
to meet her, and you want people to meet her, but at the same time, it's like you're scared because you don't know who. Some people don't have symptoms, so it's
Yeah.
like you don't want to expose your child because, like I told you guys the other day, if she gets it from her dad or from me, it's like, of course it hurts that you gave it to your child, but she's your child, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But then if somebody brings it and you're like, okay, wait, I don't have it, dad doesn't have it, one of you gave it to her, it's like, okay, y'all knew that we were in quarantine, y'all decided to come anyways. Why? What was the need? So it's kind of hard and sad, and at the same time, it's like a little peaceful. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yo, for real. How did it? How did what you're going through affect your everyday life?
It affects every day differently. Um, like I said, the emotions are they're weird. They're not always the same. Um, one day it's like basically like I said, it's like you're bipolar. One day you're okay. The next day it's like you're crying about anything. The air smacks you and you're already crying. You're feeling some type of way about it. Um, it's not like a everyday effect, so to speak. So there's not really an answer to that question. You just gotta take it the way it comes.
Yeah. Do you feel better as time is passing by?
Do I feel a lot better than the first week. The first weeks I would just cry. Now I don't cry anymore. I'm a little mad at the world sometimes, but I think my everyday thing, even before the baby. Yeah, no, okay.
Anything else you would like to say about postpartum and advice?
I mean, I can't really give anyone advice. Um, the best advice is to know that nobody got you. Well, nobody has the baby like you have the baby. Like nobody's gonna take more care of the baby than you. Even if you're like feeling like you're not doing something right, or like the baby's never gonna love, because that's one thing that you feel like the baby's not gonna love you, and it's like the weirdest thing. Um, I mean, dad just has to step in. Mom has to take a breather. Even if it's like, listen, like hold the baby for an hour and you hopping in the shower, just that hour just sitting there. I mean, as messed up as it sounds, like mom is gonna need a break. That's the best advice. Like just take a few minutes, sit back, relax, pretend like there's nothing around you and just breathe. That's the best advice I could give anyone going through postpartum, to breathe, because it is a lot. I mean, it is a big change in just minutes. And like I said, like I can't sit here and say postpartum is the same for everyone, but the best advice, like I said, is to breathe.
So, what about you, Wafa? What do you have to say about
Well, I never
mental
had a
health?
baby, so I don't
Mental
know
health
about
awareness.
postpartum. But um, I mean, I suffer a lot from anxiety and depression, and I suffered from anxiety since I was a kid. So that is something I had to learn to grow up with. But depression, I got diagnosed with in my mid 20s. I was about like 23, 24, and I was going through a lot, going through a stressful job, going through not knowing who I really am, like where am I supposed to go in life? Is this where I'm supposed to be? Then I was in like a rough relationship where like I didn't know where that was going, and it was just a whole lot. And then I was fighting with my dad, wanting a relationship with him, but not knowing how to have a relationship with him. And it was just a whole lot going back and forth. I did lots of drinking. I did not handle it in a healthy way. Um, and until I really seeked some help and I went to therapy, I found a therapist online, paid for that out of pocket. And I really learned a lot about myself medically, like what I'm suffering from, like where the depression rose from, because you don't just have depression. Like there's little things leading up to depression. Like it started from anxiety. I grew up with anxiety. It affected a lot in my school. I wasn't a good test taker because I was always scared of the outcome. What would my test grade going to be? As much as I studied, once I got that test in front of me, it was like everything flew out the window. And then, what's it called? Then, like, a lot of it dealt from, my dad leaving. And, like, it was like, we saw him, every, like, couple of years. And I was the one that was, like, always the sensitive one in my family. So I was always like, where's daddy? Where's daddy? Blah, blah, blah. But, at the end of the day, it was like, I realized I suffered a lot from abandonment issues, and all that just like leaded up to, me not working on it created depression. And because turns out, I come from, a narcissistic father, and it was like, if you want a relationship, you have to learn like who you're going to have a relationship with, whether it's a parent, a brother, a sister, a boyfriend, or anything like that. So what's it called, dealing with that, I had to learn a lot of techniques, growing up, because like something like postpartum, you have a lot of times where you just confused about how you feel. Like, you'll be happy one day and the next day you just can't get out of bed. Like you're pushing yourself with all your might to get out of bed, and it feels like the hardest thing in the world. Then it even comes to like, eating sometimes. Like you're just so into your own feelings, you forget to eat, you forget to think straight and whatnot. So when I first learned that I got depression, I got a cat, because I was super sad. And I was like, even though I had a dog, but it was my sister's dog, like I wanted my own animal. And I felt that I was ready for that type of responsibility. And I got a cat, and it really like made me care for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, show that I'm not alone. Like I always have somebody, and even though it's an animal, like I have somebody that's gonna love me. Like that cat's gonna love me forever. And it's really weird. I mean, mental awareness, like there's it's not just one thing, you know? It's a whole bunch of things in one, a whole bunch of feelings. And even it's like Saudi was saying, it's a whole bunch of like not feelings because you're just numb sometimes. Like you don't know what you're gonna feel. Like you don't know whether you're happy, you don't know whether you're sad, like you're just numb. Like
Mm-hmm.
and like you want to just feel something sometimes. Like you're just like, damn, I'm in the dark right now. I want some light. I want some happiness. And but what we all don't, what we all sometimes forget is that happiness comes from within. So we have to learn what makes us happy. Like, get some hobbies. Like, I did some knitting. Like I put all my feelings into each stitch. Like every numbness that I felt, like I would just keep stitching, keep stitching. And a lot of it also comes from like you have to like what are those things called? Like those words that make you feel good. Tell you good stuff.
Words with friends.
Huh? No, affirmations, words of affirmation.
I was
Yeah.
like,
I said words with friends.
But yeah, no, that also helped me a lot because I would follow a lot of pages on social media that, even though it's not, other people saying it directly to you, you end up learning to say it to yourself. Like you look in the mirror, you start telling yourself, you're beautiful, you're worth it. Like don't worry what anybody else thinks because everybody else is going to have their own opinions, but you have to take care of you. At the end of the day, it's all about you. So and I'm still working on that till this day. Like it's not easy. Like it's something you deal with every day. Like, it's a struggle every day, but through those struggles you realize, I'm I can help somebody. As long as I take care of myself, I can do what I have to do to succeed in life. Because there's so many other people out there that millionaires and stuff like that, and they're suffering from mental health issues and we don't even know about it.
Until they kill themselves.
yeah, because real quick to say, yeah, money's happiness. Things like that.
Yeah.
All right, so I have one question for both of you guys. How did it affect your relationship? So whoever wants to go first.
I'll let you go first.
um, like Waffle said, sometimes you just have to look at yourself and remind yourself who you are and what you are. I like you guys know I had a C-section, and so obviously I have my scar, I have my stretch marks, I have my belly, my baby belly still there. But relationship wise, it's like mom has to remember who she is. Like I told you guys, like when you're pregnant, you get ready for whatever hits you. At least I did. relationship wise, it's like there are rocky roads, and I'm not gonna say it's the postpartum, even though it has a lot to do with it. But sometimes, like I said, mom just forgets who she is and what she just did. Like she created something, and sometimes dad, it didn't happen to me, but dads also forget that mom just lasted 9 months baking the greatest creation that she will ever do. Um, my relationship wasn't affected directly. Um, I feel like I sort of affected it in ways because it's like you look at yourself, like I said, you look at yourself and you're like, ew. Like I should have like asked the doctor to like cut this part out as he was like taking the baby out. So it's like I don't want to say my relationship was affected in any way because
Yourself.
I don't feel like the relationship was. I feel like certain things that postpartum puts in your head, like I said, the ill part, it's like there's certain things that you think about or that bother you that you let it affect the relationship. Plus the lack of sleep is like that's a big plus. Um, but yeah, I don't think my relationship was affected. I mean, he was a big help. I can't complain. Relationships around me, you know, that I can talk about. um, but if anything, postpartum has made us stronger. Um, we always ask each other like, "Oh, how you feeling?" Like now more than ever because again, moms also forget dad goes through it too. Just like you're going through it, dad is going through it.
Of course,
Dad
every
is
but
exactly. Dad isn't sleeping, even though we may think he is. Dad is also not sleeping sometimes. Mama. So yeah, I mean, we try to ask each other like, yo, like, how you doing? You feeling okay? Or like weekends, he'll take the baby. Weekdays, obviously, he's the one working. I stay with the baby. Thank God the baby sleeps, but I can't say my relationship has hit. We've seen harder times.
what about you, off?
Well, I mean, in my case, me not knowing how to deal and still learning how to deal with, my own mentality and stuff like that. Um, it has affected my relationships. I mean, I don't find the most patient men out there. And, I like at this point, I realized right now, like, is not the time for me to be in a relationship. Like, I need to focus on myself because a lot of the time, like, I was like, since I was learning, about myself and about, going through anxiety, going through depression, going through, finding out everything about myself, I realized I was looking for someone to love me when at the end of the day, like I said before, happiness comes from within. So I have to learn to love myself more than to love somebody else because I can love someone and care for them till with all of my heart with so much passion to the point that it becomes toxic and I become toxic and I realize that like because it turns into a possession and obsession and it's just like I need to have them, I want to have them, and that's not the way love's supposed to be. So like even though like I did have someone that really took the time and patience to like really understand where I was coming from, you know there was a point in myself that I was like, I have to go, I have to get out because I just don't feel comfortable with myself in this place. And I did. And at this point in time right now, I am more comfortable with myself. Am I looking for a relationship? No. I'm chilling. I'm, having fun, like just figuring me out because at the end of the day, I do want to get married one day. I do want to have babies. I do want to, want to start my whole family and my whole life. But I can't do that if I don't know how to help myself first. Because really, having a relationship is two people. And if I can't help my significant other, if I can only like, show love, but I can't really help them, because helping them would basically be helping myself. Because I can't just put all my sadness into one person, because that just sucks for them. Because then they're like, I don't know what to do with you. And they're just as confused as I am because I don't know what I want. Like, like there's days I'm sad and I'm just like, oh, I'm just sad. I don't know why I'm sad. Like, like you can't force that on somebody. But if those people out there have somebody that's willing to be patient with them, willing to learn about, their what they're going through and things like that, kudos to them, because there's not a lot of people out there that's very patient to take the time to understand that person and understand what they're going through. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
having my situation affect my relationships, yeah, but that's because I don't know much about myself and I'm still learning. No, but life is a process, and hopefully one day I'll find the one.
Eventually, you will. Eventually.
Eventually.
Anything else you guys want to throw out there?
Love yourself. Love yourself more than anyone.
Yeah, that's basically the best advice. I mean, if you don't love yourself, how can you love another?
Especially you with a baby.
Exactly. It's like, how do you show someone you love them when you don't know how to show yourself you love yourself?
That's true.
Thank you for having me, Ange. Oh my God. This was such a good time. It really was, though. It really was. And I hope my words has helped somebody else. And, if she tags me in this video, you can follow me.
Ask questions, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I have to say honestly is postpartum is some real shit. Like,
Stuff.
you may not believe it. Like, a lot of people hear about it and you're like, yeah. But it's like, you don't know what's happening until you open your eyes. Like, it's some real stuff. And it's like something you can't even avoid because you don't know what's happening. Just, like I said, you just have to breathe. If you don't breathe, you're going to hit rock bottom.
Kind of happy though we're doing this video chat. I haven't seen your faces in that long.
I haven't seen this bitch's face in a long time. And I'm pointing at Chewy Saudi.
Yeah, I know. I figured.
Yeah.
Pretty gang, she a pretty thing and she bang too. Damn girl, you killing shit with blood on them high shoes. Damn girl, you killing shit, I swear I think you pyro. Killing them red bottoms with your gang.